what makes professional wrestling so fantastic is its utter absurdity at times. What do you mean Vince McMahon has an illegitimate son who's also a part of the WWE? The whole Katie Vick storyline, and oh yeah, God is wrestling on the next pay-per-view. Now yes, we all have different tolerances for WWE's wackiness, but we kind of have to admit that's part and parcel of why we love it so much, alongside, yeah, the athletic endeavor part. But every now and again, WWE completely loses sight of both the sports and entertainment parts of its mission statement because they've become infatuated with the weirdest thing. Case in point, what should we do with Jillian Hall? Give her a weird growth on her face and then have the boogeyman eat it after a while. What? That didn't even make this top 10. Anyway, with that in mind, I'm Adam Wilborn from What Culture, and these are 10 times WWE were obsessed with strange things. Number 10, fire. In what other sporting contest would you see someone going, oh, bollocks, I think I might be losing this fight? I know, I'll shoot a fireball in my opponent's face, a la Alexa Bliss and Randy Orton this year. You just wouldn't see it happen, would you? Because WWE loves fire, basically. There is clearly a case of pyromania with the higher-ups in this company. I mean, we've got Inferno matches, Kane shot fire from the turnbuckles whenever he bothered to show up. Randy Orton pretty much barbecued Bray Wyatt at TLC last year. And if you want to know how much they love fire, yeah, they nearly destroyed the legend that is The Undertaker by literally setting him on fire before he went into the Elimination Chamber. I'm sure Mark was really happy about that when he got backstage. And the worst part of all this is it's now bleeding into other companies. We literally just had AEW have Cody Rhodes pin a guy whilst he was on fire. Don't get any ideas, Vince. Number 9, definitely not Stephanie's eyes. Most fathers wouldn't imagine subjecting their daughters to the salacious and quite honestly dangerous business that is wrestling. But let's be honest, Vincent Kennedy McMahon isn't most fathers. Not only did he slap the women's championship on his minimally trained daughter when he brought her into this business, because there's nothing like nepotism when it comes to VKM, but he also made sure that they focused in on her, let's just say, enhancements in the early noughties. And this wasn't just a sly jibe in a Chris Jericho promo. They made sure the cameras, whenever she was on commentary or acting as the general manager, particularly focused in on 2 aspects, let's just say, of her character. Maybe this was to cause a spike in ratings or a bump elsewhere, but then you also have to consider the fact that Vince is also the guy who pitched an incest storyline to his own daughter where he was the father of her baby. You creepy old bastard. Number 8, dogs. The big dog, the junkyard dog, the Undertaker's yard, and Jerry Lawler yelling puppies whenever tits were on the screen in the late 90s. It looks like Vince McMahon can't get enough of canines. I mean, we've had wrestlers being gifted dogs, we've had people like Tori Wilson walking to the ring with her dog under her arm, and then we've got Al Snow, who of course was once fed his dog by the big boss man. Yeah, that happened. So if there's an aspiring WWE writer watching this, basically just slip a dog metaphor into whatever pitch you want and chances are you're gonna be golden. Vince McMahon loves a dog reference as much as he likes someone pointing at the WrestleMania sign. Woof. Number 7, R-Truth. Now, I know this list is meant to be about when WWE were obsessed with strange things, but this particular entry, as we all know, is just about Vince being really weirdly fascinated by R-Truth. Look at him yucking it up here with the former K-Quick. Did you know R-Truth has over 16 years of tenure with WWE? 16 years ago, I looked like this. Don't focus on that fact. I hadn't kissed a girl back then. I mean, I haven't now, but that's because of the mustache. To be fair to R-Truth, he's nearly 50, and look at him. I'd quite like to look like that I'd quite like to look like that now, but I'd take that when I was 50, snatch your hand off. And when he's given the opportunity in the ring, he's still incredibly agile and athletic. The problem is, Vince just likes him to do funny stuff, which is why all we've seen him do recently is run around with the 24/7 championship. And he's probably won it 3 times whilst I've been recording this video. R-Truth is probably, outside of Roman Reigns and Charlotte Flair, the only other guy who, when they get the calls about budget cuts, thinks, yeah, I'll be fine. Number 6, surprise roll-ups. Again, imagine something like this in another sport. Imagine your favourite football team just can't seem to score against the best team in the league, and then you realise if one of your players just backheels the ball, goalkeepers are seemingly unable to make a save whenever that happens. That is the surprise roll-up in wrestling. I don't think there has been a week that has gone by in the last, decade where WWE hasn't used this finish. If they do not know how to finish a match, it is either a DQ, a distraction, or in the words of Simon Miller himself,
and then hit the most devastating move in all of sports entertainment, the surprise roll-up.
Number 5, thrusting. If you were trying to convince a friend to sit down and watch some professional wrestling with you, you'd probably mention this near the bottom of reasons to watch, but it is kind of part and parcel of the business, really, isn't it? I mean, Rikishi back in the Attitude Era was always wiggling his bum about. I mean, Road Dogg used to pretend to shag his opponents up the arse. Well, hey, what a bloody lad. And nowadays, we've got my best friend Big E, who just loves to have a bit of a gyrate big match. WWE like to tell their fans, don't try this at home. These are professionals doing this. And that's meant to be related to the fact that some of the moves they attempt to pull off are really dangerous. But I feel like in reality, what they're saying is, don't try this at home. Number 4, Lesnars Beast. And by that I mean, his cock and balls. Look, the low blow has been used for decades by heels, or by others, in fact, to win matches. But I don't think it's ever been used so much on one guy like it has been over the years on Brock Lesnar. He is a guy who should be undefeatable. He is a former UFC heavyweight champion. He wrecked John Cena at SummerSlam, and he ended The Undertaker's streak and gave him a goddamn concussion at WrestleMania. There is no blueprint to defeating Brock Lesnar. And yet, he does have a sort of glowing weak spot around his genitals like some boss on a video game. Just kick him in the dick, and chances are you can probably beat him. Taker did it, Seth Rollins did it, hell, even Ricochet did it, helping Drew McIntyre to eliminate Brock from the Royal Rumble. One caveat here, though, he isn't going to forget about it. Look what happened to Ricochet in Saudi Arabia. Look at what he's done to, anyone who's decided to mess with him in the past. If you kick him in the cock, chances are the next opportunity he gets once he's recovered, he's going to snap you like a goddamn twig. Number 3, butt cheeks. Yep, that's right. I said the word butt cheeks. You see, because when I say the word butt cheeks in reference to WWE, you probably don't actually think of the scantily clad women they used to have back in the Attitude Era, because you've been hammered so often with other images of butt cheeks over the years. Rikishi, stink-facing anyone and everyone who got in his way back in the day. DX, spray-painting the coach's bottom. DX, again, if I'm not mistaken, getting the Big Show's bum out inside a Hell in a Cell match. And let's not forget Mr. McMahon's Kiss My Ass Club. They are obsessed with butt cheeks. So obsessed, in fact, that if anyone in WWE is watching this video and are hovering over the dislike button, how do you like these apples? Number 2, eggs. The major talking point coming out of Survivor Series 2021, WWE's last big pay-per-view of the year, don't forget, was not who beat who or what's next for the champions or who won brand warfare. It was who stole the egg. Vince McMahon had brought in this egg that was a reference to the Rock's new movie, Red Notice, on Netflix, which centers around 3 of Cleopatra's eggs or something. I don't know, I fell asleep halfway through, if I'm perfectly honest. And then it got stolen halfway through the show, and then they just didn't pay it off. They went, oh, you have to watch Raw to find out all the latest on the egg. It's all anyone could talk about off the back of Raw versus SmackDown, the one night of the year, blah, blah, blah. And then, the next night on Raw, Austin Theory got a world title shot because he brought the egg back. And let's be honest, it's not even the most obvious obsession with eggs that WWE have had. It's been 30 years, but the gobbledygooker at Survivor Series will live on forever. Mark Calloway thought that was going to be his gimmick for a while. He thought he was going to be the guy to come out of the egg, in the words of Mean Gene. Thankfully, they gave him some other, I don't know, deado guy to be instead. But let's be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if they gave a gimmick to a wrestler that they came out of an egg next year. When it comes to what comes first, the booking or the egg, I think you got your answer. Number 1, throwing stuff into bodies of water. It's been revealed in a variety of podcasts, but often the old school writers' meetings around Vince McMahon's were often interrupted by someone getting hoyed into the pool. It does seem like this influenced their writing style because of Vince's perverse obsession with this sort of thing. I mean, there are classic examples. Stone Cold and his Smoking Skull Championship getting chucked into the water by The Rock back in the day. You've got Rey Mysterio, Hurricane Rana, Jack Swagger into the Gulf of Mexico. You've got John Cena hurling Edge into the Long Island Sound. But that's just a few names on a long old list that features the likes of Kane, Hardcore Holly, Al Snow. I mean, Chavo Guerrero and CM Punk back in 2008 literally had a Gulf of Mexico match. The big man on top loves to see his boys get wet, and I've just realized how I made that sound. In summary, if you see Vince McMahon near a body of water, do not go near him, because you're going to get drenched. And that is our list. Did we miss any out? Let us know in the comments section below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And subscribe to What Culture Wrestling, wherever you get your podcasts from, for daily wrestling podcasts. Plus, you can let us know your thoughts on Twitter at WhatCultureWWE, and you can find me and my mustache at Adam Wilborn. Thanks for watching. I've been Adam from What Culture, and I'll see you soon.